Hey everyone, this is your stimulus check update, second stimulus check update, and stimulus package update for Monday, August 24th. In this update, I'm going to be going over these four things. First of all, Nancy Pelosi and the House of Representatives were called back into session last week to pass an emergency bill that would give funding to the United States Postal Service. Second, I'm going to talk about the second stimulus check and where we're at with negotiations. Third, I'm going to talk about the coronavirus and actually how there could be a new treatment, and there was one that was approved by the FDA just recently. And last of all, we're going to talk about the first stimulus check for those of you that still haven't received it. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Justin and I do stimulus check updates and financial advice. So if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And if you find this content helpful, be sure to hit the like button so that YouTube will share this video with others. So let's talk about the United States Postal Service, because apparently this is an emergency according to Nancy Pelosi, and the House came back into session last week to vote on a bill and actually approved a bill last Saturday that would give $25 billion to the United States Postal Service. It would also stop some organizational changes that were made to try and prevent financial problems with the Postal Service. These organizational changes were actually stopped because of this bill, and this bill prohibits them. And like I said, $25 billion in funding is going to go to the Postal Service. This was apparently so important that Nancy Pelosi called all of the House of Representatives back into session and said, we have to vote on this bill, it's an emergency. And so they did exactly that. And they voted on it and passed it last Saturday. Nancy Pelosi in the past has said that she would not do any piecemeal stimulus bills, but apparently the post office is an exception. When asked previously about passing a piecemeal bill for just stimulus checks or just for an unemployment extension, she said that that's not how it's going to happen and that has to be an entire bill that's a comprehensive bill or nothing at all. Apparently the post office doesn't fit into that rule that she created or that she was talking about. And they took care of the post office, and for some reason they just can't take care of the American people. I just do not understand how the post office is more of an emergency than the $1,200 stimulus checks and the unemployment extension as well as eviction moratoriums. Let me know in the comment section below if you think that the post office was important enough to call for an emergency session in the House of Representatives. And also let me know if they should just call an emergency session to get some stimulus checks passed and the unemployment benefit extension, because I think that's more of an emergency personally than the Postal Service is. Everyone already agrees on stimulus checks. I don't understand how Pelosi doesn't just say, okay, let's grab, those things that we all agree on and let's pass it. Because it's important. And the stimulus checks, the $600 per week unemployment extension, and PPP funding for small businesses are all things they basically all agree on, including and also the eviction moratorium. These are all things they basically all agree on. They could pass this and get it through, but the problem is right now both sides, the House and the Senate, are using the $1,200 stimulus check and even the unemployment extension as a bargaining chip to get the rest of their basically pet projects into this stimulus plan. The House wants $1 trillion of funding for state and local governments, and on top of that, they want a total stimulus bill of $2 trillion. The Senate does not necessarily want to spend $1 trillion on state and local governments, although they would include some funding, but the Senate wants liability protection for schools, hospitals, churches, and businesses so that they couldn't be sued if somebody contracts coronavirus from their establishment. And the Senate only wants a total bill that's only about $1 trillion. Now remember that to send out stimulus checks, or at least to the individuals that would be eligible, including those that are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and VA benefits, and the eligibility that's similar to the first stimulus check, it would cost about $500 billion. So the House wants a total stimulus package that's 4 times just the stimulus checks. The Senate wants a bill that's about double the price of what it would cost to send out stimulus checks. If they really just wanted to help the American people, I think they would pass a stimulus check bill, and some of this other stuff they would just negotiate later on. They aren't doing that, and we are still waiting. At this point, they need to just set their pet projects aside, get something done, approve the stimulus checks, approve the $600 per week unemployment extension, and approve the eviction moratorium. Everything else, whatever. You guys can argue and bicker about that however long you want to. But those are the three things that really need to be in this next stimulus bill. You already agree on most of those. Just get them done, pass it, and then get the help to the American people that they really need. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be their plan. Both chambers of Congress right now are on recess again, and they won't be back until September. However, Mark Meadows this week did say that he went into Nancy Pelosi's office to try and restart negotiations on the next stimulus bill. Remember that it was Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Stephen Mnuchin, and Mark Meadows that were doing the negotiating on the stimulus bill before the House and the Senate went on recess. Those are the four that have kind of been the negotiators in this whole deal. Mark Meadows said that Nancy Pelosi was in a meeting when he went in there, but he's going to continue reaching out to her and trying to get negotiations started up again. So hopefully they can get some negotiations going again, and they can finally agree to the next stimulus bill that would include stimulus checks for individuals. Let me know if you think that they're going to come to an agreement soon and get the second stimulus check out soon. They have said that once the agreement is made and once the bill is passed, the stimulus checks can go out as soon as a week later. So they do have to just come to that deal, and then the stimulus checks should come soon thereafter. So on the fight against COVID-19, there was an emergency approval done by the FDA this week, as reported by FoxNews.com, and I'll leave a link to this story in the description below. President Trump said the FDA has issued an emergency use authorization for a treatment known as convalescent plasma. Trump continued, "This is a powerful therapy that transfuses very, very strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection." And Trump added that the authorization will expand access to this treatment. Basically, this therapy involves somebody who has already recovered from coronavirus they donate their plasma, and then that plasma is administered to somebody that is currently experiencing problems with the coronavirus and actually is currently infected. The FDA has come out and said that they have seen some good signs from this treatment, and that because the drawbacks or the complications that can happen because of this are minimal, that they are willing to approve this, and they have approved it. About 64,000 patients have received this treatment, and it has shown good signs. The FDA has said that it can help reduce the severity or shortening the length of COVID-19 illness in some patients. So that's good news that they are finding some additional treatments that they can try for people that are infected with the coronavirus. Let's talk now about the first stimulus check. I know many of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and VA benefits still haven't received your first stimulus check. You need to call the IRS. And I've been asking that you do this because people have been getting a lot of answers when they finally get through to a representative that can help them. If you call the number 1-800-919-9835 and the representative can't take any of your personal information to help get you an answer to your specific problem, ask them to be transferred to a representative that can help you. Once you get a representative that can help you, they will ask for your social security number and some of your other information, and they can then look up and track down where your stimulus payment is, or if you're eligible for a stimulus payment or not. I've had quite a few people that, since I've been asking to call, they've called and they've found out that they actually weren't eligible and that somebody claimed them on their taxes. So if you haven't received your first stimulus check and you don't have an answer as to why you haven't received your first stimulus check, call the IRS, 1-800-919-9835. Be persistent. I know it's a pain, and I know it's frustrating to have to wait on hold forever. But you've now waited for over 3 months for your stimulus check. So be persistent and just keep calling and calling, and you will hopefully get an answer from the IRS. If you haven't received your first stimulus check, let me know in the comment section below so I know how many people still are waiting for that first stimulus check. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much once again for watching, and I will talk to you again soon.